The Perfect Life, exclusive preview by Chermel Bluitt. Chapter 10, October. The October wind rushes in fast as the weather changes drastically. Evening dew freezes and turns into frost at dawn. Kyla bolts through the back door. She is gripping her arms. She shivers and says,
It's cold out there. I'm going to need my coat, especially if I have to stand outside and wait for the bus.
She swiftly passes by the family. They are still sitting at the table, eating breakfast. Robert quickly tries to finish up his breakfast and signals Jarek to go to the bus. Jarek removes himself from the table, cleans up his bowl, and hurries out of the front door. Robert takes a couple more bites of food, then removes himself as well.
I have to go so I won't be late. You two need to get going. School starts soon.
Yes, Dad.
Replies Anana and Malcolm in unison.
All right, be good.
He kisses Anana on the forehead and rubs the top of Malcolm's head. He gathers his belongings and heads out of the front door. Malcolm says,
Bye, Dad.
Anana adds,
Have a good day at work, Daddy.
The two children continue to eat their breakfast. They converse and giggle as they play at the table. Eventually, Lauren walks into the dining area from the kitchen. She looks stylish in a black dress suit paired with a vibrant red blouse, but the addition of her short pencil skirt heightens her sensuality. Upon entering the room, she places her golden earrings in her ears and says,
Sorry, I'm running late.
The children stop playing when they notice Lauren's presence.
Mama, you look so pretty.
Lauren smiles.
Thank you, baby girl.
She spots an empty bowl in front of Robert's chair at the table and looks around.
Where's your father?
They both respond.
He left.
Lauren checks her watch.
He left already? It's only 7:30.
Malcolm explains.
Dad said that he was going to be late, so he had to go.
Lauren stands in the room for a moment and thinks.
Okay, well, are you two almost finished? It's getting close to the time that you leave for school.
Malcolm says.
I'm almost done. It was good.
Anana adds.
Yeah, it's great.
Lauren continues getting herself together, grabbing her high heels and putting them on while walking around and searching for all her things. When she passes by the children, she asks,
What did you guys eat?
Daddy made grits and eggs.
says Anana with pride.
Oh, really?
Malcolm holds up his bowl.
Yeah, do you want some?
Oh, no, that's okay, sweetheart, but thank you.
Lauren checks her watch again.
Okay, you two need to get cleaned up after yourselves and get ready to go. It's time for school.
Anana gets up from the table and takes her bowl into the kitchen. Malcolm takes one more bite to scrape his bowl clean. He then picks it up along with Robert's.
Dad was in a hurry. He forgot his bowl, but I got it.
Lauren responds with a fake sarcastic smile and says,
That's so kind of you.
He takes the dishes into the kitchen and heads for the front door with Anana. They both give Lauren a hug and a kiss as they pass her by.
Bye, Mama. I love you.
Malcolm grabs hold of Anana's hand. They exit the house and walk to school. Lauren watches them walk down the sidewalk. She smiles to herself. She thinks they are adorable walking hand in hand. Lauren returns to the dining area to wipe the table off quickly before she leaves. She enters the kitchen and sees a big mess on the stove and dishes in the sink. She rolls her eyes and checks her watch again, realizing she only has a few minutes before she needs to leave and go to work. While quickly picking up things around the kitchen, she sucks her teeth and fusses.
I know he doesn't think that I need to clean up all this shit. Just like a man. He left out everything. The milk? Why did he leave out the milk?
Lauren, I can help clean up the mess that Daddy made.
The unexpected voice startles Lauren. She thought she was at the house alone. She turns around to see Kyla standing in the kitchen doorway and gasps in surprise.
Kyla, why are you at home?
Yeah, about that. I was cold outside. I realized I had forgotten my jacket, so I came back home to get it, and I can't find it anywhere. So I'm pretty sure that I missed my bus. I'll just ask Daddy to take me to school.
Lauren stands with her hands on her hips, listening to Kyla's story, then responds.
He's not here. He already left for work.
Kyla feels disappointed.
Oh.
Kyla, which jacket are you looking for?
The checkered jacket?
Oh, I think it's in the laundry room. It's with all the things that were sent to the cleaners.
Oh, okay.
Kyla runs into the laundry room and finds the jacket. She brings it back into the kitchen.
Thank you, Lauren. Do you need me to help you clean up?
Kyla heads over to the sink and starts loading the dishwasher. Lauren watches Kyla in suspicion, although she responds in a kind voice.
Yes, I would appreciate it.
They both quickly tidy up the kitchen. After just a few minutes, Lauren checks the time, leaves the kitchen, and grabs her jacket. Kyla is rushing to finish the dishes.
I'm almost done.
She turns around and sees Lauren standing in the doorway, fully prepared to leave. Lauren looks at her watch one last time.
Kyla, I'm going to be late for work. We have to go. We can finish this evening. It's good enough for now.
Kyla grabs her backpack and heads for the Mercedes with Lauren. Kyla sits in the front passenger seat next to her. She is tense. She wasn't expecting to be riding in the car alone with Lauren. Kyla stares out of the passenger window, trying to avoid any conversation with her. Lauren turns on the radio and hums to the music, looks in the rearview mirror and puts on her lipstick. Kyla tries to ignore her, but it's hard. She peeks over at Lauren. She thinks to herself,
Lauren is so embarrassing.
Still driving, Lauren flips her hair, trying to place it the way she wants it. She does this while using the rearview mirror again. She checks herself out and blows herself a kiss. Kyla sighs in irritation. Lauren looks over at Kyla, who is still hiding her face. She smiles and says,
Kyla, thank you for all your help this morning.
Kyla uncovers her face and looks at Lauren, who is still smiling at her.
You're welcome.
They ride in the car for a while with just the sound of music playing in the background. Lauren wants to say something to Kyla, but she can sense that she is uncomfortable. Eventually, Kyla says,
When we get there, you can just drop me off at the back of the school.
Oh, okay.
Lauren looks over at Kyla again. She thinks she might try to talk to her and tell her what's been on her mind. She sweetly says,
Kyla, I know that I'm not your mother, but I want you to know that I'm always here for you to talk to about anything. You don't have to be nervous or feel like I'm a stranger. I love you and your brothers as if you were my own children. Once I was your age, and I know how hard it is to be without a mother and needing someone to talk to. I want you to know that I will be there for you, okay?
Kyla feels frozen with embarrassment and discomfort. She ignores Lauren's concern of waiting for an answer. Instead, she says,
Just drop me off right here.
Lauren continues driving and heads towards the back of the school. Then she says,
I'm not trying to upset you. I'm just trying to be there for you.
Kyla snaps back.
Lauren, I'm not like you. I have a mother. Please, just drop me off right here in front of the school. Really, it's fine.
Lauren stops in front of the school.
Do you need a note for being tardy?
No, I'll be fine.
Kyla gets out of the car, slams the door, and walks towards the school. When she reaches the door, she turns around to check to make sure Lauren has driven off. She sighs in relief when she realizes Lauren is gone. As the day goes by, Kyla cannot stop thinking about what Lauren said to her that morning. The thought of going home and facing Lauren again is stressing her out. She thinks to herself,
I've been trying to be nice to her lately. She's just making it hard for me to continue.
The bell rings for everyone to transition to the 6th period. Kyla realizes she has Miss Jonathan's class. Her intrusive questioning still rings in Kyla's ears.
Well, you seem a little distant in class today.
Kyla doesn't want the teacher crying anymore, so she makes sure she tries to act normal in that class. She goes to the very back of the class and sits in the corner, trying to be incognito. She rarely sits in the back, although the class doesn't have assigned seats, so she figures that the teacher won't notice that she's in an unusual spot. A boy named Brian sits next to Kyla and nudges her.
Hey, over.
She rolls her eyes and aggressively whispers back.
What?
He whispers back.
Hey, did you do your homework?
Yeah, why?
Couldn't see it. I didn't get to finish mine.
She snaps back. No. Why would I let you copy my homework? I don't even know you like that.
He quietly laughs and whispers back.
Shit, I have a reason why you might want to.
Kyla scoots away a little with a disgusted look on her face. She says,
Boy, leave me alone and stop talking to me. Your whispers stink.
Kyla sits in her corner of the class and feels all right. Pretending to act normal is working. The teacher hasn't even looked at her once. Everything seems to go well until Brian leans back over to whisper again.
Hey.
Didn't I just tell you in your funky breath to stop talking to me?
Kyla pushes him back.
Hey, don't you go with Ronnie.
The question catches Kyla's attention.
Yeah? Why?
The boy leans back in his chair and holds out his hand.
Let me see your homework, and I'll tell you what I know.
Kyla falls back into her chair with her arms crossed. She sucks her teeth. As she sits there, she thinks about Ronnie. She hasn't seen him in a while. With so much going on at home, she has had little time to talk to him, and being grounded has made it impossible for her to see him after school. She thinks,
What does this boy know about Ronnie?
She looks back over at Brian.
Ugh.
Her curiosity gets the best of her. She wants to know what he has to say about Ronnie. She leans over close to Brian and says,
What questions do you need the answers for?
Just let me see your homework. I'll be quick, and then I'll tell you what I know. Let me see that right quick.
Kyla passes the homework to the boy.
Only copy the answers that you need. If you copy every answer, she's going to know that we cheated.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Brian grabs the paper and jots the answers down on his own homework. He hands it back to her and says,
Thanks.
He scoots back to his spot and sits back in his chair with a swag. Kyla waits for a moment, and then Brian doesn't say a word. Kyla leans back over and says,
Well, what is it?
He responds,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You do know what I'm talking about, boy. I gave you the answers, so tell me what you know about Ronnie.
He shrugs his shoulders. She rolls her eyes and says,
That's too bad then.
What?
Too bad that I gave you last week's homework.
Hey, man, you bugging for real.
Kyla continues smiling.
Yep, too bad.
He dips back over and says,
Okay, look, you give me the right answers, and I'll tell you what I know.
Tell me first.
He leans in close to her ear and whispers,
All right, you know, I'm not no snitch, but your boy Ronnie, he been all up in Ashley's face, and now here she gives it up. I also heard he was locked up downstairs this morning.
He pulls back from Kyla's ear and says,
You heard me?
Yeah, boy, move.
She pushes him back away.
Damn, you need to brush your teeth, for real.
What's the answer?
Here.
These are the same answers. Hey, yo, these are the same answers.
I know.
Kyla gets up as soon as the bell rings, snatches her paper back, and turns it in. Kyla spends the time in between class looking for Ronnie. She doesn't know what she's going to say to him because she is unsure if Brian is making up stories. She tries to pay attention to the people in the hallway as she thinks,
Is anyone looking at me differently? Usually, if someone cheats, everyone knows and gossips about it.
She sees nothing out of the ordinary, so she focuses on looking for Ronnie. While she is walking up the staircase, she runs into Kelly.
Hey, Kai.
Hey, Kelly.
Girl, where you been?
Around?
Kyla keeps moving fast, looking for Ronnie.
Where are you going? 7th period is about to start.
I'm looking for Ronnie.
Ronnie?
Yeah, you know, my boyfriend.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't think that he was here today. Girl, what's going on? You look upset.
Brian said that Ronnie been cheating on me with Ashley.
Ashley? Nah, I don't know about that.
Why you say that?
Well, you know Ronnie's locker is about mine, right?
Right.
Ronnie has a lot of girls that try to talk to him, but he pretty much stays to himself. He acts like he doesn't want to be bothered. I doubt that he's talking to little bony Ashley.
Kelly, I don't know. He might like her. Remember he asked her to the dance? Brian said that she'd be giving it up. Maybe Ronnie knows that I'm a virgin and don't want me.
Girl, please. If Ronnie wanted to get some, he wouldn't care if you're a virgin. Besides, he doesn't seem like that type anyway. Brian is bugging for real.
Kelly, I'm really upset, and I don't even want to be here right now.
Where do you want to go? I got the car. If we hurry now before the bell, we can dip out.
You know that I really skip, but it's just fun class. I'd rather be at home right now.
Well, let's go.
The two girls sneak out of the school and drive to Kyla's house. The music blasts loud as Kelly sings along. She tries to cheer up her friend as she urges her to sing. Kyla finally smiles and sings along with Kelly. Kelly says,
Sing it, girl. Sing like Whitney.
The two teens laugh. They pull up in front of the house. It looks so peaceful and dark. Kyla isn't used to her home being empty. She turns to her friend.
No. Are you coming with me?
Well, as long as nobody's home.
Nobody should be here at this time of day. I usually get home an hour before Lauren anyway. My dad gets home way after her. We at least have 2 hours before anyone gets here.
Okay, I should have brought drinks.
Kyla laughs.
We have time to party a little, but 2 hours isn't long.
The two teens get out of the car and walk through the back door next to the kitchen. They walk through the kitchen and into the dining room. Kelly stops and looks over at Kyla. She says,
Girl, you hear that?
I told you that nobody is home.
Kelly shakes her head.
No, girl. Somebody's here.
Stop, Kelly. You're scaring me.
Kyla listens closely, and through the silence, she can hear faintly the sound of Let Me Down Easy by the Isley Brothers playing in the distance.
No, that's probably the neighbors. Come on.
She waves her hand and signals Kelly to follow her. Kelly follows Kyla through the living area and to the staircase, but the music gets louder.
Okay, now I know it's coming from your house.
Kyla pauses in her tracks.
Why is someone here? Nobody is supposed to be here.
She hears voices coming from upstairs.
Girl, I wouldn't go upstairs if I were you.
Believe me, I'm not.
Kyla remembers the incident that happened earlier that morning. When she left for school, the kitchen was not fully cleaned. She walks back to the kitchen and sees that someone has completely cleaned it.
Oh, shit.
She says.
Lauren is here.
Kelly responds.
Girl, more than Lauren is here. Your parents are obviously getting their Marvin Gaye on.
Kelly laughs. Repulsed, Kyla says.
Ew, stop. That's disgusting.
Kelly continues to laugh.
I'm just saying, girl. It's obvious.
Girl, we have to leave.
Exactly.
The two girls leave the house and get into the car. They sit there for a few minutes, trying to figure out what to do next. Kyla's entire demeanor changes. She just sits and looks out of the window. Kelly asks,
Girl, are you okay?
Kyla wipes a tear from her eye and says,
Yeah, I just miss my mom.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Kai.
The two girls spend the rest of their time at the mall. When they realize it's time for school to be dismissed, they leave the mall and return to Kyla's house. Kyla gets out of the car and turns to Kelly.
Girl, wish me luck.
Kelly laughs.
I doubt the Isley Brothers are between the sheets anymore.
Kyla gags.
You're so nasty, girl. Bye.
Bye.
She walks to the front door and opens it. She doesn't hear a thing, so she hurries up the staircase. She stops when she hears her father's voice behind her. He calls out,
Kyla,
She walks back down the steps. He is standing in a dining room doorway. She answers.
Yes, Daddy.
some boy just called in looking for you.
She sighs in relief.
Oh, okay.
He said his name is RJ, whatever that stands for.
Okay. Thank you, Daddy. I'll call him back when I get to my room.
Who is this boy?
She swallows. She is too nervous to tell her father that Ronnie is her boyfriend. Lauren walks down the staircase and into the living room. She is smiling and says,
Hey, Kyla. How was school?
It was all right.
Lauren continues.
Oh, Kyla, that sweet boy from church just called here a few minutes ago.
Robert asks,
He goes to the church?
Yes, that's Reverend Ronell's son.
All right, so why is he calling the house?
Lauren continues to answer the questions.
I think that's Kyla's boyfriend.
Robert locks eyes with Kyla.
You have a boyfriend?
Kyla drops her head in embarrassment. She quietly responds.
Yes, he's my boyfriend.
With a stern voice, Robert says,
Well, all right. He needs to come by the house so he can meet me. Invite him over for dinner one night.
Lauren butts in.
Rob, you have already met the boy.
We haven't properly introduced ourselves as the father of his girlfriend and he as the boyfriend of my daughter.
Lauren laughs.
Rob, you're a mess.
Invite him over for dinner on Friday night.
Kyla looks at her father in panic. She thinks to herself.
Friday is the night of the dance. He can't come over then.
She says,
Daddy, Friday isn't a good day.
Well, what day do you prefer?
Kyla tries to think. She doesn't know what the right day would be. She contemplates being grounded and realizing she needs to get ungrounded before the dance. Maybe she should pick a day before Friday.
Do you have a problem with Thursday night?
I'm going to look into my schedule and see if I have a surgery that day. If not, we can do Thursday.
Okay. Thanks, Daddy.
Kyla hurries to her room to give Ronnie a call. She lays across the bed, picks the phone up the hook, and dials his number. It rings twice. Then someone says,
Hello,
Hello, is Ronnie home?
the voice calls out.
RJ, the phone is for you.
Immediately, he picks up the phone.
Hello?
Hi, Ronnie.
Hey, Freddie.
Kyla giggles.
Why do you keep calling me that?
Good. You are, Freddie. I mean, I think you're beautiful.
Oh,
Kyla blushes.
thank you, Ronnie.
You're welcome.
Kyla asks.
I didn't see you at school today. Where were you?
Yeah, I was out sick.
Kyla is relieved.
I knew it.
You knew what?
This boy, Brian, lied and told me you were kissing Ashley this morning.
How could I do that if I wasn't there?
They both laugh.
Right. So, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better, especially now, because I love talking to you.
Ronnie, you are too sweet.
Kyla smiles. She thinks about Thursday and that she needs to ask him about it.
Ronnie, I have a question.
What's up?
My dad answered the phone when you called earlier, and now he wants you to come over here for dinner and meet him this Thursday.
Ronnie is quiet for a moment.
Hello, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
He clears his throat.
Kyla, I don't have a problem with coming over for dinner Thursday. Did you say that your dad answered the phone earlier?
Yeah.
Ronnie laughs.
No, your mom answered the phone when I called, and I think she was next to your dad because I heard him asking who I was. I kind of expected him to say that he wanted to meet me after that incident.
Ronnie continues to laugh. Kyla shouts.
Oh my goodness, Ronnie, that woman is not my mother.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, Kyla.
Ronnie, please get it right. I'm serious. I can't stand her.
Ronnie responds.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't trying to make you upset.
I don't know, she made me so mad this morning.
Really? Why is that?
She gave me this long speech about how she knows how it feels to not have a mother. She told me some crap about how she loves me and my brothers like she's our mom, and that I could share stuff with her.
Ronnie asks.
Okay, I don't get it. So why did that make you mad?
Kyla is flustered and says,
Because I have a mother. Lauren can't replace my mom.
I don't think that she meant that, though.
So now you're taking her side.
No, not at all. It just sounds like she might have tried to be nice to you and let you know that she loves you. She isn't replacing your mom. She is just someone else that you can talk to when your mom is not around.
Kyla thinks for a moment.
Okay, but I really don't need her.
Ronnie continues.
Okay, let me ask you this question. When's the last time you spoke with your mom?
Kyla is silent.
Hello? Kyla?
Yeah, I don't even know, Ronnie. I haven't talked to her or seen her in years, but from what I understand is that she was on drugs, and my dad said that he didn't know where she was.
Okay, when's the last time you've seen her?
I don't know. I was probably 10 or something. I remember my aunt came to our house. She's my mom's sister. She was so nice. To visit my mother, she gathered all of us together and took us to Cleveland. My mother was in some type of place. I'm not sure what it was, but we got to sit with her and take pictures. I remember hugging her so tight because I missed her so much. She gave me and my brothers pictures of her to keep. My baby brother got a locket with him as a baby on one side and my parents on their wedding day on the other side. We all still have the pictures that she gave us, but we haven't seen her since.
Kyla sniffles as a tear falls from her eyes.
I would love for you to show me the picture that you have of her.
I will. I keep her right next to my dad. She's so beautiful. I can still remember her smell and the feel of her hugs. I remember so much. I miss everything about her, and I feel so alone because I don't even think my brothers remember her.
Why not?
They were too young. Malcolm was just 1 when Mama and Daddy split. Jarek was only 4, and I was 7. We didn't see her much after they divorced, and when we moved here, we didn't see her at all. We moved here when I was 10.
Kyla, I'm sorry. I know it has to be hard for you not to see your mom.
I don't think anyone understands.
Ronnie is quiet as he thinks for a few minutes. He then says,
Kyla, you said that nobody understands.
Yeah, nobody.
Just told me that Mrs. Lehman said that she knows how it feels not to have a mom. What did she mean by that?
I don't know.
She had to mean something. Maybe she understands.
I remember Lauren telling Anana that she didn't have a grandmother because she died long ago. Maybe Lauren's mother died.
You don't know?
No, I don't talk to her that much, Ronnie. I usually try not to have anything to do with her.
Maybe if you talk to her, you might learn to like her more than you think.
Kyla shakes her head.
No, I don't think so. But, Ronnie, don't get me wrong, I have tried.
What have you tried?
I tried to be nice to her. It just gets hard sometimes. My dad was telling me that it isn't good to hold grudges, so I've been trying to forgive her and be nice.
Ronnie responds.
Kyla, your dad is right. My dad preaches about it all the time. You must let grudges go. Once you let the grudges go and ask for forgiveness, then you will be forgiven.
You mean that I have to ask Lauren for forgiveness?
No, I was talking about that. Although it's good for you to apologize to Lauren.
Oh, well, I already did that. I was being nice to her, and then she said that stuff to me this morning. I can only take so much.
I guess you weren't ready for her to say those things to you, but I think you're on the right track of letting go of the grudges.
Thanks, Ronnie. I don't even know how I can talk to you so easily, but you always make me feel better.
Well, I try to help people. One day, I want to be a preacher like my dad. It makes me feel good when I can help people. I especially like helping you.
Kyla laughs.
You know, Ronnie, you don't have to be a preacher to help people. My dad is a doctor, and he helps people every day.
I guess I meant to say help people spiritually.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Well, Kyla, I have to go now. My sister has been waiting to use the phone.
Okay, before you go, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Are you still going to the dance?
I'm pretty sure. Why?
Kyla sighs.
Well, I'm not sure if I can go because I'm grounded. I haven't asked my dad if I could go yet. He probably is going to say no.
Ronnie responds.
Well, I don't know what you did, but maybe a little bit of apologizing, forgiveness, and making it up by trying to do the right thing will change his mind. That always works for me. You should try it.
Kyla smiles.
Okay, Ronnie. I'm going to try that.
Okay, pretty. I'll see you at school tomorrow.
Bye, Ronnie.
Bye.
They both hang up the phone. Kyla thinks about what Ronnie said and prepares herself for a change. For the next few days, she tries to be nice to Lauren, no matter what happens. She thinks,
this is hard. Lauren is so irritating.
But she just masks the feeling inside and keeps moving forward. On the day of Ronnie's visit, Kyla comes home and jumps straight into the shower. She puts in extra effort to make sure she's prepped and ready for when he arrives. When she gets dressed, she puts on a gray tight-fitting turtleneck sweater dress that is cut right below her behind, and her black stretch pants that help show off her legs. Her hair is down, curled at the ends. Although she isn't wearing much makeup, she's highlighting her lips with red lipstick. She thinks to herself,
I'm going to be so cute for Ronnie.
Walking down the living room staircase, she can smell the aroma of freshly cooked steaks, baked potato, and the hint of scented candles. In the curiosity to see how everything looks, she walks into the dining room and observes a beautiful arrangement of flowers and candles on the dining room table. The plates and silverware sit neatly in front of each chair. Kyla can't believe her eyes. It's so beautiful. Lauren walks into the dining room carrying a big bowl of salad. She smiles at Kyla and asks,
Do you like it?
Oh my goodness. I love it.
She turns to face Lauren.
Did you do all of this?
Well, some of it. Your brothers put the silverware and plates on the table. I wanted your first date to be special.
Lauren, this is so nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kyla watches Lauren walk back into the kitchen. Then she looks around. She asks,
Lauren?
Lauren calls out from the kitchen.
Yes, sweetie.
Where is Daddy?
Lauren reappears and sighs.
He's still at work, but I'm sure that he will be here soon.
Oh, I hope that he's here before dinner.
Me too, sweetie.
Suddenly, the doorbell rings. Kyla rushes to the door and opens it. Lauren watches from the foyer entrance. As soon as the door opens, Ronnie smiles. There he stands in the front door entrance, a light brown skinned teenage boy wearing a multicolored sweater, a red Kangol bucket hat, and a lightweight jacket. Kyla thinks to herself,
He is so handsome.
he looks like a wannabe LL Cool J. All that he is missing is a gold chain. He smiles so hard that his dark brown eyes twinkle. Ronnie holds out his arms and says,
Hey, Freddie.
Kyla gives the boy a tight squeeze.
Hi, Ronnie.
He then holds up a yellow rose.
This is for you. Didn't you say that you like yellow?
Yes. Thank you.
Kyla receives the rose and smells it. Lauren smiles and approaches Ronnie. She holds out her hand for a shake.
Hello, Ronnie. Welcome to our home.
Ronnie shakes her hand and says,
Thank you, Mrs. Lavins.
he looks around and whispers to Kyla.
Where's your dad?
Lauren said that he's working, but he'll be home soon.
The family sits at the table, and they pass the food around in the absence of Robert. Everyone joins hands as Lauren says grace. As soon as all voices say,
Amen.
Robert walks in the front door. Lauren excuses herself from the table to greet her husband in the foyer. When she walks over to him, he immediately pulls her close, passionately kisses her lips, and smacks her on the bottom. He says,
Damn, woman. It's nice to come home to you.
Lauren whispers in his ear.
Honey, we have company.
He sneaks another kiss before he looks over to his left to find the whole family and Ronnie sitting at the dining room table.
Oh, I forgot that was tonight. Let me go change. I won't take long.
He steals another kiss before he walks off. Lauren heads back to the table as Ronnie leans over to whisper to Kyla.
Do they do this often?
Kyla rolls her eyes.
Way too much for me to handle.
Ronnie laughs at her response. Lauren sits back down at the table.
Okay, he'll be back to eat with us soon.
She smiles and looks around the table. The room is silent and everyone is eating their food slowly. She eats as well. Eventually, Robert enters the dining room and sits at the head of the table across from Lauren. He looks over at Kyla and asks,
So, who's our guest?
Kyla says,
Daddy, this is Ronnie. Ronnie, meet my dad.
Ronnie waves.
Hello, Mr. Lavins.
Robert firmly says,
That's Dr. Levins.
he holds out his hand.
Son, shake my hand like a man.
Ronnie shakes his hand and replies.
Of course, sorry. Dr. Lavins.
Robert continues.
Okay, Ronnie. RJ or LL Cool J. Who's this kid?
He chuckles a little.
Son, what's your full name?
Ronnie swallows his pride while he responds.
Yes, sir. My name is Ronell Franklin Jr.
All right, Ronell Franklin Jr. You're Dr. Reverend Ronell Franklin's son, correct?
Yes, sir.
I know your father well, but it's nice to meet you. Welcome to the Lavins home. I apologize for my running late.
Robert cuts his steak.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Ronnie looks around the dinner table and notices everyone is looking at him. He takes a deep breath. Robert says,
Can you please pass the potatoes?
Ronnie realizes the potatoes are in front of his plate and Robert is staring at him. He replies,
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
He grabs the plate of potatoes and carefully tries to pass them to Robert, but one potato rolls off the plate onto Kyla's lap.
Oh,
Ronnie tries to grab the potato from her lap.
it's okay.
He stops himself when he notices Robert scowling at him. He removes his hand from Kyla's lap.
Sorry.
Jarek and Malcolm laugh at the whole incident. Robert plainly says,
That's all right. Everyone makes mistakes. Although we keep our hands to ourselves at the table, I understand sometimes that can be hard to do. That's why my wife is all the way on the other side of the table.
He then smiles at Lauren. Embarrassingly, Ronnie turns and looks at Lauren, who is trying to cover up her mouth as she laughs. He looks at Kyla, who is also feeling embarrassed, and she removes the potato from her legs. The two boys continue to laugh. Lauren stops herself from laughing. She then says,
Honey, leave the boy alone.
Robert eats, and the rest of the family follows suit. Eventually, the room settles down and Ronnie finally cuts his steak again. As soon as he takes his first bite, Robert starts a new conversation. He says,
So, Ronell Jr., what are your intentions with my daughter?
Ronnie freezes up. Kyla intervenes.
Daddy, stop. It's not like we're getting married.
Lauren whispers from across the table.
Robert, what are you doing?
Robert shrugs his shoulder and innocently looks around.
Hey, I think that's a valid question. Son, how old are you?
Ronnie says.
16.
Robert responds.
Okay, see there? I married my first wife at 16. Many people get married at 16. Some others do not. Some start a family at 16.
Lauren tries to interrupt him.
Robert, stop.
He continues.
Lauren, it's only valid that I ask the proper questions. So, Ronell, what's your intentions?
Ronnie swallows and says,
I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to do any of that right now.
Robert falls back into his chair with his arms crossed. He glares at Ronnie. Lauren says,
Okay, Robert. He answered your question. Now can we please let him eat his food?
Well, honey, let me say this one last thing.
He takes another breath and says,
Ronell, I want the best for my oldest daughter. She is to stay focused on school, finish school, and have no funny business.
Yes, sir.
Robert adds,
And son, take your hat off when you're at the table.
Yes, sir.
He snatches the hat off of his head, exposing the soft curly fuzz on the top of his head. He puts the hat in his lap and eats his food again. Robert winks at Lauren, and she rolls her eyes. Robert announces,
All right, I'm done. The floor is open. Does anybody have anything to say?
Lauren replies.
No, Robert. Can we just eat?
Anana looks around. She realizes she has never asked a question that she has been wanting to answer for. Loud and proud, she says,
I have a question.
Lauren smiles and says,
What is it, baby girl?
She then picks up her glass and takes a drink. Loud and clear, Anana says,
Mama, what's a virgin?
Lauren chokes on her drink in shock. She quickly scans the room with her eyes to see who her 4-year-old daughter could have gotten the word virgin from. Malcolm also feels shocked. She figures, not from him. Jarek is laughing at the question. Kyla is hiding her face. After she sees Kyla's reaction, she rolls her eyes and looks dead at Robert.
Well, Lauren, are you going to answer her question?
Lauren turns to Anana. She is patiently waiting for an answer. Lauren tries to answer the question, but first asks,
Anana, where did you hear that word?
Anana turns and looks at Kyla. She is still covering her face.
Well, Kyla said to ask you. She told Callie that she's a virgin. So, what is it?
Kyla says,
Oh my goodness, Anana. Why now?
She removes herself from the table. Ronnie watches her leave. Robert smiles and expresses his approval, saying,
Well, Anana, good. A virgin is a good thing to be.
Lauren adds,
But, Anana, that's something that you will learn about when you get older.
Anana smiles and says,
I'll be 5 years old next week.
Anana, a little older than that.
Lauren looks over at Ronnie, sitting alone. She says,
I'm so sorry, Ronnie. All of this wasn't supposed to happen. Please, nobody say anything else embarrassing. I told Kyla that this date was supposed to be special.
She removes herself from the table and goes into the kitchen. Kyla is standing in the kitchen with her arms crossed and tears in her eyes. When she sees Lauren, she asks,
Why is everyone purposely embarrassing me?
Lauren embraces her.
Kyla, I'm so sorry. I wanted this night to be special. I don't think everyone's purposely trying to embarrass you. Honestly, I think your dad is just trying to protect you. He wants the best for you. He loves you.
Protect me from what?
Well, I think he wants to make sure you don't get your heart broken or miss out on your goals because of a boy. I'm a woman. I used to be a teen too, so I know a teen girl is going to date, and it's just a part of life. But your dad is a man, and he knows most boys focus on one thing, and that's...
Kyla cuts her off.
Yeah, I know.
She gives Lauren another hug. She says,
Lauren,
Yeah?
Anana told the whole family that I'm a virgin. Not only that, but my boyfriend too.
Lauren rubs Kyla's shoulder and takes a deep breath.
I know, but that's not a bad thing. When I was your age, I too was a virgin.
Kyla turns her eyes towards Lauren.
Really?
Yes, I was trying to save myself for my husband.
Kyla thinks for a moment.
Wow, that's like what it says to do in the Bible. Is that what your mom taught you to do?
No. When I was 16, my mom was already gone. I just planned to wait until marriage because I wanted to. It was a goal of mine. There are many reasons why it was a goal, but it's a long story.
Lauren, what happened to your mom?
She passed away a long time ago.
So how old were you when you last seen your mom?
I lost my mother when I was 10 years old.
Can you remember how she smelled and how it felt to be in her arms?
Lauren squeezes Kyla tighter, closes her eyes, and a tear falls down her face.
I can remember everything about her.
Lauren exhales, pulls herself away from Kyla. The tears in her eyes mirrors the tears in her own. She takes a tissue, wipes Kyla's moist face, and gives her a reassuring smile.
Sweetie, it's okay.
Kyla says,
Lauren, thank you for being there for me.
Lauren replies,
Thank you for letting me be there for you. Now, No, let's go back out there. You have a fine boyfriend waiting for you in the dining room.
Kyla sniffles and then laughs.
Yeah, he is pretty cute, huh?
Lauren replies.
Girl, he and you make the cutest couple.
They both smile and re-enter the dining room. Kyla sits next to Ronnie. He beams at her and gives her a wink. She smiles back at him. The atmosphere becomes more casual as dinner progresses. Eventually, the family finishes their dinner. Anana and the boys play in their rooms. Lauren and Robert sit together on the live seat in the living room. They talk and watch television. Ronnie follows Kyla into the living room. She goes to the couch and suggests that he sit there and wait until she returns.
I'll be right back. I'm going to get the picture.
She runs up the staircase into her bedroom. Robert turns to Ronnie.
What picture is she going to get?
Ronnie responds.
I think she's going to get a picture that she told me about. It's of her mom.
Robert says.
Oh.
Everyone in the room sits back and the room is silent. After a short while, Ronnie speaks up and says,
Mrs. Lavins and Dr. Lavins, the dinner was delicious. Thank you for inviting me.
Lauren responds.
You're welcome, sweetie.
Robert says.
Yes, you're welcome. And Ronell?
Yes, sir.
From what I see now, you seem to be a pretty good kid. It's nice meeting you.
Thank you, Dr. Lavins. It's nice meeting you, too.
Kyla returns with the picture. She shows it to Ronnie.
Wow.
He says,
You look exactly like her.
Kyla smiles.
Yes, I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it really is. You guys must have been the same age.
What do you mean?
She must have been 15 or 16 in that picture.
I don't know.
Kyla looks over at Robert, who is watching television and talking to Lauren. She calls out,
Daddy.
He replies,
Yes, Kyla.
How old is Mama in this picture?
She takes the picture over to Robert. He and Lauren look at the picture. Lauren comments,
Oh, how pretty. She looks just like Kyla, doesn't she?
Yes, Kyla has always looked just like her mom.
He says,
Kyla, where did you get this picture?
Mama gave me this when we visited her. I've had it next to my bed for years.
I remember taking this picture of her while she was pregnant with you. I think she was about 20 years old here.
Robert hands the photo back to Kyla. Kyla looks over at Ronnie and says,
20 years old. She's way older than me.
Not much. Aren't you gonna be 16 next month?
Yeah, on the 19th, so like by 4 years. But we still look alike.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Kyla stares at the picture and smiles. With a quiet voice, she says,
I miss her so much.
She looks over at Lauren, who isn't really paying much attention anymore. She says,
I haven't seen her since I was 10.
Her comment gets Lauren's attention. She looks at Kyla in query, but the comment saddens her. She nudges her husband to get his attention. He becomes completely absorbed in a football game on the television. She nudges him again. He says,
What's going on?
Kyla gets up from the couch and takes the picture back to her room. In Kyla's absence, Lauren quietly questions Robert.
Why has it been that long since Kyla has seen her mother?
To avoid going into detail, he dismisses her question.
Lauren, please don't get into this with me right now.
Lauren continues to pry.
5? Almost 6 years? Come on, Robert. You're not letting the kids see their mom.
Overwhelmed by the burden of justifying his actions, Robert gives Lauren a nasty stare.
Lauren, I'm not talking to you about this right now.
Lauren glances at Ronnie to see if he is paying attention to her and her husband. Relieved to find him engrossed in the television, she whispers back to Robert.
You're going to have to talk about it at some point.
As Kyla enters the living room again, she finds everyone seated in silence, fixated on the television. Soon after, Ronnie announces his ride is coming soon, and it's time for him to leave. Kyla walks Ronnie through the front door, closes the door behind them, and stands with him on the front porch. She leans in close and puts his arm behind her. Gradually, he wraps both arms around her body. She wraps her arms around him as well. Their eyes meet. She looks at him. He looks right back. They both break into smiles. She then closes her eyes and pokes out her lips. Ronnie leans over and softly kisses her on the cheek. Kyla opens her eyes, smiles again, and then she stands on her tiptoes and politely kisses Ronnie on the lips. He blushes and kisses her back. Ronnie lets go of their embrace when his ride pulls into the driveway. He gets into the car. She watches all dreamy-eyed as she waves when the car drives away. When Kyla re-enters the house, Robert asks,
Did he catch his ride?
Kyla responds.
Yeah.
He says,
Well, Kyla, it was nice meeting your little boyfriend. He's a nice guy. I like him.
Kyla giggles.
Really?
Yeah, he's all right.
She gives him a hug and says,
Thanks, Daddy.
She leaves the room and runs up the staircase to her bedroom. Chapter 11. Persuasion. The next morning, Kyla wakes up early, feeling elated because of her excitement about the homecoming dance. There's only one problem. She doesn't know if she can go yet. Throughout the week, Kyla makes an extra effort to treat Lauren kindly and refrain from speaking disrespectfully to her father and stepmother. Since she is already awake, she spends her time quickly getting dressed and then rushes downstairs to prepare the family's breakfast. Kyla is sure that Lauren usually gets up around 5:30 and starts breakfast. Today, Kyla is starting breakfast at 5 o'clock. She fries bacon and mixes the pancake batter. At around 5:20, she hears footsteps coming down the stairs. She thinks to herself,
That must be Lauren. She's going to be surprised to see that she doesn't have to make breakfast.
Kyla stands next to the stove, ready to surprise Lauren. Against all expectations, it is Anana who walks into the room.
Anana,
She says,
why are you awake so early?
Yummy! I smell the bacon and it makes me hungry.
Kyla laughs and says,
Yeah, I made bacon. Do you want some?
Anana perks up with excitement.
Yes!
Okay, wash your hands. When I'm done making the pancakes, do you want some of those too?
You're making pancakes?
Of course. Bacon goes great with syrup, and what goes with syrup better than pancakes?
Waffles?
Well, I like pancakes better.
Anana giggles and says,
Okay, well, can I help?
Sure, why don't you mix the batter while I flip the bacon?
Anana pulls up a stool to the counter so she can reach the bowl. She mixes the batter. Kyla says,
Okay, good. Now we're going to pour it into the pan. Then we have to wait until the pancake is filled with bubbles before we flip them.
Really? Why?
That's how we know the pancake is ready to flip.
They both stand by the stove and watch the pancake. Kyla says,
Do you see? The pancake has bubbles everywhere. It's ready to be flipped.
Kyla holds Anana's hand and they flip the pancake. It is golden brown on the other side. Anana says,
Wow, you're right.
She watches Kyla finish cooking the pancake.
Kyla, how did you get so good at making pancakes?
Kyla smiles at Anana and says,
When I was little like you, I used to always help my mom cook.
Really?
Yeah, my mom would stay home with me and Jared when Daddy was at work. My mom loved to cook. We used to bake cakes and pies. Sometimes for lunch, we would make sandwiches and have picnics too. Every night, Mama would have a big dinner waiting for Daddy. I was small, but I remember helping her a lot.
Anana's eyes light up with delight.
Wow, your mom sounds like fun.
Kyla kneels to Anana's level.
If you want, I can teach you how to cook too.
Yes,
Anana hugs Kyla.
you're the best sister ever.
Kyla and Anana finish making breakfast for the whole family and set the table. Kyla makes sure she cleans up the kitchen. When she is completely done, she eats and then checks the time. It's 6:15. She thinks to herself,
It's almost time for me to go to my bus. Where is everyone?
Kyla says,
You need to go get dressed for school.
Okay,
As soon as Anana walks up the staircase, both Jarek and Malcolm run down.